Hi, folks. So I'm here for your full moon forecast. Still trying to figure out my light situation, but this is it. So I'm rolling with it. Do you know what? I meant to do this video the other day, but one thing and another, this week has been really felt emotionally chaotic for me. And I know this full moon is quite an intense one for me. It's right on my Chiron, and I'm feeling all the wound and the vulnerability surfacing a lot. So I'm only just getting to do this now, but I wanted to show up for you guys. So yeah, I hope you're navigating this watery full moon and grounding yourself. As I speak, I am on my grounding mat, which is like the best Christmas present ever. It is so good. It just automatically anchors your energy down. So highly recommend them. So the full moon in Cancer is happening on the 13th of January, which is my birthday. And it's happening at 22:26 p.m. GMT time at 23 degrees and 29 seconds of Cancer. So we're in the cardinal water sign. I always think, although it's water, of all the water signs, Cancer is the most earthy. If you think of a crab, it literally scuttles along the shore sideways, back and forth. So it's like the sign of Cancer is it's water, but it's got a kind of anchored quality to it. And there is a real sensitivity and vulnerability about this energy. So you may have felt maybe more vulnerable or more exposed over the last few days. I certainly have, with one thing or another. We've been dealing with fleas because our cat got fleas, even though I do the treatments, which is super annoying. So I've been feeling like this irritation because I see a flea. I keep getting bitten around the ankles, and it's in your home. Like, as well, it's quite interesting. Like, that is a good symbol because Cancer represents our home. It represents our sense of belonging, our sense of safety in ourselves. So it may, at this time, because we have Mars as well there, but we may be feeling really frustrated in the home. Maybe something needs to change in our home life or with our family, or we sense like we need to change our environment or move to a new place. But because Mars is retrograde, there could be, we almost know what we need to do, but now is not the time to take action when Mars is retrograde. When a planet's retrograde, it's a time of reflection, a time of introspection, to pause and go, whoa, is that the right thing for me right now? So if you're thinking of changing something in your home life, physically, emotionally, maybe hold off a little bit till Mars goes direct on, when is it? On the 23rd of Feb. But so this Cancer energy, the thing with Cancer, it's a crab. It has a hard shell. And whenever I'm working with clients, I always try and describe that, there's this really vulnerable, in the crab, it's really vulnerable. And, if you have this energy strongly, you might relate to this. There can be a tendency to put those walls up, right? As soon as the shadow side of Cancer is feeling like hypersensitive. Because I always talk about sensitivity as a gift, but also we need to have the boundaries in place. Otherwise, if we let everything into our environment, including who we surround ourselves with, what we listen to, if we feel like threatened or exposed, we put those walls up. So imagine it's like that little delicate crab is like, nope, you're not coming in here. And those hard outer walls are then put round the body to protect, sort of an emotional shutdown. So you may feel that around this full moon in the next couple of days as well. So just be aware of like what is is there a situation in your family life or with a particular person that is making you shut down emotionally? I had it earlier, I'll be completely honest. We were spraying this flea treatment. I mean, I hate using chemicals, but I was like, I can't live with these. So spraying the flea treatment, Paul was my partner, and I was like, right, just tell me when you're doing it down the stairs because I want to get out. I don't want to breathe these fumes in. And just the way he said that, "Oh, you're being like a hypochondriac," it set me off. And I'm not a hypochondriac. I just don't like to be in chemical environments, right? So I was like, I know what I need. And I was agitated because it was like a boundary cross. And I noticed I went into this sort of emotional shutdown. Like I went really silent. I went really quiet. I literally went into myself. And I know also that this moon is on my on my Chiron in Cancer, which is a deep place for me of feeling. There's something about feeling unsafe in my home environment. Not necessarily. It's a wound around belonging for me. That's why I've traveled a lot. That's why I've lived in different places. So that is almost a wound I carry, and I have to do a lot of work around feeling safe in my body. And I observed myself earlier, and it was so interesting. And what I needed to do to feel calmer, I went and created some art, which I don't allow myself to do. Also, if you've got listening to this and you have Chiron in Cancer, you need to find an outlet to let go of that, to channel your vulnerability in, and that could be a creative outlet that you have, but I found that so helpful. But of course, at a full moon, we're in a polarity point, so we've got that Cancer Capricorn opposition, and we are in Capricorn season at the moment. So happy Capricorn, happy birthday to fellow Capricorns. Um, I often find us January babies get missed. So I am saying, reminding you that you are loved and appreciated. Um, so with Capricorn, we're called to, you know, look at our career, our vocation, what is the legacy that we're leaving behind. So although obviously with the full moon we are in Cancer, we have to look at both sides of that. Are we quite in balance with our family life, our sense of belonging? This is also can be about connecting with our ancestors, even if you don't know them or they are spirits in your meditation that you connect with. I have this beautiful Native American man that comes to me in my meditations, and I feel he feels like an ancestor. So it could be that. So it's like, are you spending maybe too much time focused on your business or your career path and neglecting your family, or is it the other way? Where are the scales kind of out of balance for you? And Cancer, there's this deep need to feel nourished, to feel emotionally sustained. So, what is it you're seeking at the moment? What is that soul need of yours? Sometimes we forget to listen to that. We know what we need on a superficial level, but what are you craving on an emotional level? You know, I felt quite scattered this week and chaotic with dealing with the fleas, and it's just thrown me off. It's really affected my mood. And when the moon is in Cancer, we can be a bit more moody, more irritable. Um, just our mood can fluctuate more. So just make sure you're really chopping yourself up at the moment. And this is a reminder to keep um, doing those habits and practices that really sustain you emotionally on that level. And if you're feeling like you're in a heightened like state of sensitivity, how can you ground? How can you anchor? Is it you need to go out into nature? Like I've spent this a lot doing a lot of nature walks this week because I just felt overwhelmed and quite irritated this week with one thing and another, but at the same time, yeah, it's just been a hectic week. So the water is like, what do you need? What does your soul, what is your soul craving? Um, because we don't want to get too bogged down into that seriousness of Capricorn where we can get into melancholy and we can feel sluggish. So getting into the water, even looking at water to soothe yourself or having an Epsom salt bath or something like that can be really helpful. Um, yeah, but I also want to speak to, because we have Mercury in Capricorn, so we have that we've got a lot of water energy at this full moon. We've got a lot of planets in Pisces, which are, although Pisces is a water sign, I also feel it's got this airy quality to it, where things can feel a little bit we can still feel like we're looking through a fog at things. So don't worry, that will clear. Um, if you feel a bit unsure about things at the moment, stick with things, play it one day at a time. Although that Mercury in Capricorn is going to want us to be really methodical, to look at the strategy, to look at what is the long-term goal, like that mountain goat is doing. So yeah, just be mindful. How can you be maybe a bit more methodical within your life? And how can you support yourself with structure? I know creatives don't like that word, a container, I can use that word instead, containers to support your creativity. Because Cancer, the other side of that, can be very creative. The water signs are very intuitive. So how can you support your intuition in a give it a container, if you like? And I just want to mention here, because I'm super excited about this, and for anyone that really wants to focus on getting your creative juices flowing this year, me and a beautiful friend are going to be running the Artist's Way. You may have heard of it, by Julia Cameron. It's basically a course in discovering your creative self. It's an incredible book. I've done it 4 times, and we're creating this container so you can be supported through that journey. So the details are in the description below. And this is a real good time to support our creativity so that we can feel revitalized and energized as we move into spring. Um, so yeah, the Mars retrograde, going back to that, we may have felt like our motivation has waned. I know it's cold weather, so we're like maybe needing more rest as well. So what I would say is, if you're looking at long-term plans, just wait till the end of February, 23rd of February. Your motivation, your energy levels will start to come back. And Mars in Cancer is quite a difficult placement anyway, because Mars is like the fiery planet, the god of war, and we're in water. So it's very diluted. It's very, it hasn't got its potency there. So don't worry, don't beat yourself up if you're feeling like frustrated because things aren't moving quickly. In water, they flow and the fire does not sit well there. So just hold tight. And we've also got to mention, we've got Venus in Pisces, which it's almost like collectively we're really craving this deep connection and this tenderness from life, but it's hard to grasp. It's hard to necessarily communicate what that is. So if you've got this craving for this this depth of connection or intimacy, but you don't quite know what that looks or feels like, um, just dream, have fun daydreaming that. Because I know I've been feeling like a real craving for deeper connections as well, but it's hard to put it into words right now. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. And if anyone wants to go deeper and actually know what is happening in your chart and how you can work with these energies in your natal chart, then you can always book an astrology reading with me. If you click below, there is availability in January. So happy full moon blessings to you all. I hope you experience, release the old, clear the way for the new. And also, what I did this week is I burned a load of journals, lots of morning pages, and I was like, oh, felt so good to have a burn up in the garden. So that was really cathartic. If you've got things, old journals and stuff, just go out and burn it, and you feel so much lighter after that. So anyway, my loves, I hope this full moon brings you beautiful things and releases, and I will see you all soon. Bye.